The car crash seemed like just yesterday for Mandy Laddie.
The driver was going way too fast. We went over the hill and we lost control. We flipped several times before we finally hit a concrete barrier. They knew something was wrong with my back. They had run x-rays and MRIs, but they hadn't really filled me in on anything.
Mandy's back was broken, and she would need surgery right away.
They took bone grafts from my hips and put them around my L5 vertebrae to reinforce the broken bone. They also took 2 L-shaped metal bars and then reinforced them with 8 different screws. And they finally moved me out of ICU after I think 5 or 6 days.
But it was long from over.
I noticed that I was starting to feel some pain on my back, on the sutures, and it was really tender. And I had gone into the physical therapist in town to see if they could look at it, and we noticed that the area around the scar was starting to get soft. So she told us to keep an eye on it, and the next day I woke up and the whole scar had opened. So they had the nurse practitioner come in, and she looked at it, and you could tell from her face that it wasn't good.
Mandy would need to have another surgery the next day.
The next morning, they did a second surgery. They had told me that my back had become infected.
According to experts at the University of Missouri, infections can occur because bacteria can enter the body when devices like Mandy's are implanted. Unlike living tissue, which can utilize immune response to fight off bacteria, implants are left defenseless, allowing bacteria to colonize and cause infection.
They reopened the entire wounds. They washed me out, put me on IV antibiotics. I was in the hospital for about another week. They told me that I was going to be better.
And once again, Mandy thought she was on the road to recovery. But 1 year later, she was still experiencing problems.
And I was about to go back to school, and the suture reopened again. And my doctor informed me that the only way they thought they could get rid of it is to take the hardware out of my body.
Infections like Mandy's occur in 5 to 10% of implant patients. This startling statistic motivates researchers to improve implants and make infections less likely. This type of research is being done at the University of Missouri, where Mandy attends. In the Hunt Bioengineering Lab, students and faculty are examining porous materials that could coat the surface of implants. Since these coatings contain pores, they could be injected with antibiotics to prevent infections before they occur. Luckily for Mandy, by the time the removal of the implants was crucial, her back was strong enough that she no longer needed the implants. This removal allowed the doctors to completely clear the infection and make the future clear for Mandy as well.
I went back in to see my infectious diseases doctor, and the infection was gone. After they took the hardware out, I didn't have any problems. I haven't had any problems since. I still have some back pain and some nerve damage, but it's been over a year since the infection's been gone now, and I can definitely tell a difference just from the hardware being gone in my body. My hope is that no one would have to go through all the surgeries and pain that I went through. I have hope for the research being done in this field and the extraordinary impact it could have in the future.